Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Mark Remillard. Congress only a few hours away from yet another government shutdown, and it appears after the Senate had the votes needed to pass a spending plan, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul is now standing in the way. Paul has taken to the Senate floor to rail against his own party for moving to increase government spending.
Don't you remember when Republicans howled to high heaven that President Obama was spending us into the gutter, spending us into oblivion? And now Republicans are doing the same thing.
ABC's congressional correspondent Mary Bruce.
Like many conservative Republicans, Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky opposes the drastic spending increases in this bill. He is a fiscal conservative and does not like what this $500 billion bill could do to the debt and deficit. It's the same concern that many Republicans have over in the House. It's why Speaker Paul Ryan has had such a tough time wrangling votes. And Rand Paul tonight wants to make sure that his voice is heard before this has a chance to clear the Senate.
If the Senate votes to pass the plan, the House would also have to pass it before it could be sent to the president. Stocks taking a dive today, then Dow Jones ending the day down more than 1,000 points. The S&P and NASDAQ also taking on big losses. Investors remaining worried about inflation and rising interest rates.
The Dow tumbled more than 1,000 points, down 4%, and it comes after Monday's big loss. J.J. Kinahan, chief market strategist at TD Ameritrade, says this is the new normal, at least for the time being.
The biggest thing the retail investor can do is say, if you pick this time to buy, that's fine, but have a time frame in mind. The longer your time frame, the less of this, quick volatility you're going to be exposed to. If it's for a quick hit, realize you're opening yourself up to more volatility.
The NASDAQ and the S&P also falling in triple digits. Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Today's continuation of the sell-off means the Dow and S&P are officially in correction territory. This is ABC News.
Dance to your own beat this Valentine's Day. Purchase $699 or more at Helzberg Diamonds and get a free Mega Blast waterproof speaker plus power-up charger with built-in Amazon Alexa, a $339.98 value. Helzberg quality, style, and selection make it easy to find that perfect something, and this incredible speaker makes it a blast. So hurry into Helzberg Diamonds and dance out with this unbeatable offer while supplies last.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, Esther, Liberty Mutual just saved me $782 on insurance.
Liberty did what?
I know. It's a lot of money, right?
What'd you say?
Liberty Mutual saved me $782.
Visit us online to get a quote.
What?
I said, visit us online to get a quote, and you can save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
Are you still talking?
Chicago bracing for a major snowstorm. ABC's Ryan Burrow has the story.
Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel announcing Chicago public schools will be closed Friday with the possibility of a foot of snow to fall on the city Thursday night and into Friday morning.
It's an inconvenience because parents obviously have to figure out other arrangements, but it's done out of caution and safety concerns.
Hundreds of flights into and out of Chicago airports have been preemptively canceled. Many airlines offering passengers waivers to rebook flights without additional fees. Ryan Burrow, ABC News, Chicago.
More than 5 years after Washington state legalized marijuana, Seattle says they're moving to automatically clear past misdemeanor convictions for possession. The move comes on the heels of a similar effort in San Francisco. Officials say those past misdemeanors could be barriers to housing, getting credit, or good jobs. The city's mayor says it's a, quote, necessary step to right the wrongs of what was a failed war on drugs. Mark Remillard, ABC News.
Your pizza time is 7:04. Good evening. I'm Sean Torres in the Bob Allen Ford newsroom with this hour's top stories. You might have thought history had come to life, for indeed it did come to life at the Wax Museum at Garfield Elementary School. Fourth graders dressed up like famous Kansas characters, and then when a spectator stepped on a homemade button in front of them, the character came to life. KOFO's Milton Amel stepped on the button in front of Cage McHaley.
Hi, my name is Buster. My real name is Joseph. I was born in Pickaway, Kansas on October 4th, 1960.
That's false.
October 4th, 1895. My parents' names are Joe and Myra. I had two sons named Joe and Robert. I have been in 147 films. Here are some fun facts about me. I broke my neck with Sherlock Jr. and
The fourth grade teacher is Catherine Thiessen. Over 60 students participated in the Wax Museum. In December, at the request of Senate President Suzanne Wagle, the Women's Foundation issued recommendations to combat sexual harassment and discrimination in Kansas state government. They were developed with input from legal experts and advocates and community stakeholders following media reports of sexual harassment and inappropriate behavior by Kansas state legislators. Monday, Governor Collier acted on those recommendations, signing his first executive order concerning sexual harassment policy.
Sexual harassment is something that has been in the headlines and is something that has happened in the past across the United States. And I think that we can do a better job and that we will respect all candidates.
Your exclusive KOFO Weather Center forecast. Tonight, partly clear, the low 32. Tomorrow, becoming overcast, breezy, the high 39. Tomorrow night, a 30% chance of snow and freezing drizzle between midnight and 1. Then a chance of snow after 1. Overcast, the low 15. Saturday, a 40% chance of snow. Overcast, the high 22. Saturday night, a 60% chance of snow, mainly before midnight. Overcast, the low 11. I'm Sean Torres, KOFO News. And now it's time for the Pizza Time Hoop Talk Show on KOFO 1220, 103.7 FM, and via KOFO.com.
Stay tuned for the following special presentation from KOFO 1220 and 103.7 FM. KOFO, your sports source for East Central Kansas, welcomes you to the Pizza Time Hoop Talk Show on 103.7 FM, 1220, and KOFO.com. We invite you to join us live at Pizza Time in downtown Ottawa for food and drink specials during the show as we talk OU Braves and Lady Braves basketball with head coaches Aaron Siebenthal and Bruce Tate. Pizza Time Hoop Talk is brought to you by Ottawa Family Physicians, Pizza Time, Bob Allen Ford, and Ottawa University. Now, with this edition of Pizza Time Hoop Talk, here's KOFO's Bob Johnson.
Good evening. Welcome to Hoop Talk on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO. I am Bob Johnson. We are live at Pizza Time. So, truth in advertising, as far as that goes, we're here till the top of the hour. Come on down. Pizza specials, basketball talk, college basketball on the TV. Maybe Grayson Allen will trip someone tonight as Duke is on the screen. So there's always that to look forward to. And we're going to talk about Braves basketball. The Braves pick up a couple of big victories last night in North Newton. And if anyone knows the history, North Newton seceded from regular Newton. I believe it was a Catholic Protestant thing, but I'm not quite sure. But nevertheless, a couple of big victories, and we're going to talk with assistant coach for the men's basketball team, Phil McClintock, as the men win 67-61. And Coach, welcome in.
Hey, thanks for having me very much.
Is this the first time you've done the coach's show?
I have done it last year. I think once each of the last 2 years. So.
Okay.
But first time this year, yes.
What about as a player? Did you ever get the...
Yep, I did. Over, I think it was Drivers at the time.
Okay.
So it's been a couple times over at Drivers as well.
So this is kind of old hat for you then?
I guess, yeah.
I guess. And so the Braves picked up a big victory last night, and January wasn't really kind to Ottawa, but the last 3 or 4, the Braves have picked up victories, and that seems to have maybe picked up some morale.
Yeah, we've. I wouldn't say we've been playing extremely well, but we've definitely been playing hard, and we've kind of got some guys back from injury, which has helped. And so hopefully, we're winning a couple games here in a row, trying to play our best basketball down the stretch.
Braves had an early lead by 6, and was able to get it to a 10-point lead in that first half. But Bethel was able to cut it down to 2 with about 3:25 left to go in the half. What was the difference in that swing there?
We hit a little bit of a lull, which we've done, especially offensively. I mean, defensively, we were pretty solid the whole night. They never had any runs or, we were pretty steady there. But offensively, when we hit a lull, take bad shots, and turn it over, then we allow other teams to stay in it.
And the Braves actually did a good job once Bethel got within 2. They went on a small 6-0 run to end the half with a 32-24 lead. Would you say that helped to boost some confidence going into the half and instead of being down on a negative note?
Yeah, definitely. We've had a trouble this year, really starting off hot, and so we haven't had a whole lot of halftime leads. And so I think that anytime we can have a lead on the road in this league, it's a good thing at half. And, having that 8-point cushion was nice because, we had a couple stretches in the second half where we let them creep back in, but they were never able to take the lead because we had that lead there.
Hollis Mitchell had a really good night for Ottawa. He ended up with 17 points, and Hollis has had some hot moments. He's had some cold moments this year. What was the difference last night for him?
Hollis has been really good all year when he takes care of the ball, and so he had a couple late turnovers last night. But man, when we play inside out, and he can hit some shots late, and when his feet are set, and Taz actually kicked a couple out to him, and he had a couple shots late, and he controlled the tempo. And he actually, the best thing he did last night, he held Chase Bannister to 1 of 10 shooting, and did an outstanding job defensively.
And he also did really well throwing the ball around himself. 5 assists last night too. So it wasn't just him keeping it for himself and throwing up shots.
Sure, yeah. When he's on, and he really controlled the game last night, and he was probably the best player on the court for us, and probably in the game.
In the second half, Bethel was able to get within 5, and then Hollis hit a big 3-pointer to kind of stretch that lead out again, but Bethel kept responding, and they were able to get it within 3. But as you mentioned, Taz Jones, he had some big plays last night and was able to extend the lead with about 3 minutes left in the game. He's been really huge for you guys, not only just in size, but just in his play down low this year.
Oh, yeah, and we're starting to figure out that when we, it's late and it's close in games, if we need a bucket, we can go to Taz, and he's going to go get us one. And so, he missed a front end of a 1-on-1, but he's been pretty clutch from the free throw line, too. So that's he's been very good.
One thing that kind of stands out for me was Bethel only scoring 61 points, and just 33, almost 34% from the floor, but they took 74 shots and just not able to make anything of it. To me, I think this was probably maybe one of the better performances defensively for OU this year.
Yeah, we talked about that in the office today. We actually watched some of the game, and we, this and then at Oklahoma Wesleyan when we lost a close one there. Both those, defensively, especially our guards, we did a really good job guarding ball screens and guarding in general. We held them to a low percentage. If we wouldn't have turned the ball over, I would like to think we would have had won by 15 to 20 instead of 7 like we did.
And you bring up turnovers, 22 for Ottawa last night, just 10 for Bethel. But a 6-point victory, but turning it over 22 times, that's you'll take it if you can get it. It could have been much worse.
Yeah, we got to do better than that at this point in the year. And we have some returners on the team. We have a lot of upperclassmen. There's really no excuse. It'd be different if we were playing a bunch of freshmen. They're turning it over in February. There's really no excuse to, especially for some of the careless turnovers we had. And if we want to make a run in the tournament, we're going to have to shore that up.
Well, you mentioned careless turnovers. Is it with careless turnovers? Is it just them trying to do too much, go too fast? Have you guys been able to kind of pinpoint a reason for it?
Not pinpoint, no, but it's a combination of a lot of things, and it's our upperclassmen, it's our freshmen, and it seems like it's somebody different on every night. So that's definitely been an emphasis for us in practice, and when we're talking during the game, halftime. We have to take care of the ball because when we get shots, especially when we get inside-out shots, we're hard to stop.
Being at this point in the year, what can you do? Is there anything you can do, or do you have? I don't want to say you have to just settle and just, hey, this is who we are, but do you come to that conclusion and try to build a game plan around that?
No, you can never, turnovers like that, especially careless turnovers, are never acceptable. And we watch film, we watch self scouts, we talk about it with them and show them what they're doing, and there was this. In January, when we weren't playing very well, we kind of talked, and we think that maybe we talked about the turnovers too much. So then we say, hey, well, let's loosen it up and let you play more. And so, and we've played a little bit more freely offensively that way. And so, hopefully that you just got to keep harping on them and hopefully get better.
And how do they? With things like this, how do the players respond? Practice time when a coach is talking to them, can you see I don't know. Do they shut off? Are they receptive? How does the team react?
Well, it depends on the kid, but we have a really good group of kids, and so if it was different than that, they may react negatively. But they know when they turn it over, it's their fault, and we don't let them make excuses and say, well, he should have caught it or he should have did this. No, it's your fault when you turn it over. So we have, like I said, we have a great group of guys, so they respond very well.
One of the things that, looking over the stats, Bethel had 10 second chance points, and Ottawa didn't have any last night. I'm not going to say that, it wasn't a lack of hustle. There was a lot of hustle, a lot of good play out there, but what was Bethel doing to get those second chance points?
We weren't boxing out a lot of the times. Another problem, Isaiah Palmer was really sick, and he's one of our leading rebounders, and he even had 8 rebounds in 13 minutes, which is outstanding. But I think him not being out there, and they had Sam Morgan had 13 rebounds, so a lot of that was that. But there's still no excuse with our athleticism to get out-rebounded, or we still out-rebounded by 5, I think, but for it to even be close, there's no excuse.
And the Braves shooting pretty well, 47% from the floor, just taking 55 shots. So I don't want to say economical, but you didn't have to take as many shots to get as many points.
Yeah, well, we talked to them about that after the game. They shot 21 more times or something close to that than we did. And so with us playing as good a defense as we did, if we would limit their offensive boards and limit our turnovers, we would have won by 20, 25, 30. We played well enough to do that. But when we turn it over and they shoot 20 more times, obviously numbers tell you that they're going to score more points.
Free throw-wise, Braves only got to the line 13 times, which in some instances, it's a good job by Bethel to not get into foul trouble. But does that say a little bit about Ottawa maybe not trying to force fouls from Bethel?
We've thought all year that we're probably play more through our posts than anybody in the league, and we're looking and they're letting people play in the post. And so really, we don't think we're getting fouled and not getting the calls. And on the perimeter, if you drive from the perimeter, you're going to get a call. And so it's just, we've been on the refs and stuff about that. But when we're playing inside out, we should be at the line more than 13 times, which they didn't shoot a whole lot of free throws either. So I don't think it was a difference.
Well, I'm not sure if they would have shot a lot of free throws, it would have helped. They were just 2 of 12 last night, a paltry 16%. I'm sure that's something that they're going to have to go to the drawing board about. I think 16% from the free throws is really unacceptable.
Well, they had a kid go 0-7, which is unheard of, and it was a guard. So that's not really that's a big problem, I'd say.
And 0-7 from the free throw line. I'm sure I would probably be putting some extra time in the gym on that one.
You would think, yes.
Well, the Braves got a big victory. Their final home game of the year is coming up on Saturday against Southwestern. It'll be a game that we'll have for you here on 1220 and 103.7 FM. It'll be a 5 o'clock tip. That's approximate. Wise Guys Construction pregame show will be just a little bit before that. So let's take our first break of the night. When we come back, we're going to talk about Southwestern and this matchup. A big one for Ottawa. Still a lot to play for as we get ready for conference tournament time. But first, the break. You're listening to the Pizza Time Hoop Talk Show here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
When you order a pizza, you probably don't think about where your money goes, but maybe you should. Order from one of the big chains and your money goes to fund corporate jets, million-dollar CEOs, huge advertising agencies, and celebrity spokespeople. Wouldn't it make more sense if your pizza money went into, the quality of the pizza? Pizza Time doesn't have a jet, no army of lawyers or Peyton Manning on the payroll. What they have is really good food and a guy named Duke who's been responsible for it all since 1985. Get more for your pizza dollar at Pizza Time in historic downtown Ottawa or at your door by calling 242-TIME.
I came here to run cross country, and it ended up being way different than I thought it was going to be. It's unlike anything I've ever been a part of to be on the team. Everyone is so completely different. There are people you never thought you'd be friends with, nothing like your outside friends, but somehow you all click to be the same and have the same interests, but yet completely different. Everyone's always there for you. It's not just about running. Friendships and families like they're your siblings when you're away from home. That's what it means to be a part of the Braves cross country and track team. to be a family.
Be a Brave. Visit ottawa.edu.
Fast savings, fast service, and we will beat your best price on tires, guaranteed. That's the Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Bob Allen Ford. Save big now on brakes with complete Motorcraft brake service as low as $149.99. New pads and rotor machining and a lifetime brake pad guarantee. Don't settle for inferior products. Get the peace of mind with Quick Lane and Motorcraft factory parts at Bob Allen Ford. Don't wait. Get your brakes replaced now with a lifetime guarantee at the Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center at Bob Allen Ford in Overland Park and now Ottawa, Kansas.
The new Ottawa Care Clinic inside Cosentino's Price Chopper is there for you to treat minor illnesses such as flu and the common cold, sinus infections, ear infections, fever, ringworm, as well as minor injuries including abrasions or burns. No appointment is necessary to see one of the clinic's experienced and caring advanced registered nurse practitioners. The Ottawa Care Clinic inside Price Chopper, available now for your convenience. Call 785-214-4903.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I feel like I'm on top of the world.
Disclaimer, you will not be transported to the top of the world. In the unlikely event you find yourself at the Arctic Circle, seek shelter from the elements immediately to avoid frostbite and or hypothermia. Geico will not be responsible if you find yourself in a cave or crevasse with a lonely, abominable snowman, who in all likelihood will force you to play games including but not limited to Go Fish, charades, Chinese checkers, or his personal favorite, Red Rover, send Yeti on over. Geico is not liable for any damages, either physical or emotional.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
As a small business owner, you make every dollar count. So what could you do with $10? Go to Vistaprint.com today and you'll get 500 high-quality custom business cards for only $9.99. That's less than 2 cents per card. And at Vistaprint, your satisfaction is absolutely guaranteed. So it's never been easier to turn 500 strangers into connections. Just visit Vistaprint.com and use promo code 4000 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 4000.
Welcome back to Pizza Time Hoop Talk here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO. I am Bob Johnson. Phil McClintock still sitting with us as we get ready to talk about the game this Saturday with Southwestern and Mountain Builders, number 12 right now in the top 25. But this was a game coming out of the break that I think that maybe y'all feel like that you should have come away with a victory against a loss by 3 at their place, but it just seems like that maybe is the prevailing thought that you guys feel like that should have been a win.
I wouldn't say should have been a win. I think we played pretty close to as good a game as we'd played, and we were kind of on a roll, and we were in third or second, and we're playing for kind of first place at that time, and we ended up losing by 3, and it was actually we had the ball with 12 seconds and, got a great look and missed it. So that kind of put us on our tailspin there after that too. So, it's a game that I know the guys have had on their calendars and looking forward to them coming to our place.
With the way that game finished up, would it be fair to say that might have been what put the team kind of in a tailspin there for a few weeks?
I think that we were also amped up to compete for a championship in first place, and we played as hard as we could and came up short. I think that's probably pretty accurate to say.
And which is disappointing because before that game, other than the exhibition loss in December, Braves had won 6 in a row, and you'd mentioned had climbed pretty high up in the conference standings, and that one loss led to 4 straight in conference, and it wasn't until the middle of the month before the Braves got their first win of 2018, and which I know that break came at a bad time for you guys.
It did. We were definitely playing our best basketball and had got it off to such a bad start and weren't able to get over the hump and win, and then we go and win 6 in a row and go to the number 1 team in the conference and nationally ranked team and have the ball, miss a shot to win it. And so our guys' morale was down, and, there's nothing really you can do about that. You have to be resilient, and we actually came back the next game against Tabor and had the lead in the first half and then lost and got kind of blown out in the second half. So that's just how the basketball goes, I guess. So.
Well, the Braves get their opportunity on Saturday afternoon or early evening. And after taking a look at the tape of that first game, what do the Braves have to do differently on Saturday to get a win?
I don't think it's as much about doing things differently. It's about getting back to that level that we were playing at when we played them the first time. Because, we did everything but win the game that first time. And we're super proud of our guys for battling and, on both ends of the court played well. So just get back to that. And they're coming here, and we know that, we owe them one. And so just to bring it all on Saturday.
What do the Braves have to do? Who do the Braves have to attack offensively to get some success?
I think we need to play inside out like we have, and I think we dominated the boards that game and played really well on the interior. I think it's more us on the defensive end, and they have Cameron Hunt, who's leading the league in scoring, or second in the league in scoring, and DJ Wallace, he's really good, and they're all of them are returners. And so we have to disrupt what they want to do offensively.
Geez, Cameron Hunt, it seems like that kid's been there forever.
Yeah, I think he's only is he only a junior? So, or even a sophomore. He's young. Yeah, he's a junior, I think. So
feels like he's been there for like 7 years.
Yeah, he's a good player. He does everything well. So it's a tough matchup for us.
And it's a matchup with him defensively that you look at and say, okay, we're going to let him get his, and you've got to and stop everybody else?
It's one way or the other. Murdoch for Friends is the same way. You have either you stop them and let everybody else get theirs, or you let everybody else get theirs and stop him. I think we can do both, and I think that if we, come with probably don't change the game plan a ton, but you obviously can't let him go 10 or 12 from the field. I think it's more if he's going to get his, he needs to work for him.
How much will dictating the pace of the game play a role?
It will play a big role. I think dictating them not getting into a rhythm will play a big role. They've lost 4 games in a row, and they are not playing great, at least compared to what they were playing. And so I think we don't want to let them get going against us.
And with that being said, obviously defense has had its issues at times. How do you go about keeping them from getting into a role?
Well, maybe switch up man and zone a little bit. I think that the last couple games we've had a lot of energy, and that was something we've lacked early in January. And so as long as we get the energy back up, and if we can do that for 40 minutes, I think the defense will be there.
And of course, it's senior day, too, so there's going to be a lot of emotion on that court as you guys will say bye to some seniors who have been with this program for a little bit. So it should be a good atmosphere on Saturday.
It should, yeah. And you look back at the way we've played all the top teams in the conference. Almost every one of them has been a really close game. So hopefully we can bring it, and when it comes down to the wire, and if it does, then we can win it and pull it out for the seniors.
So when you get ready to wish the seniors well, more than likely this is going to be the last home game unless things break down. There's still, with Saturday's game, 3 games left, so there is an opportunity you guys could possibly sneak up a little higher. But who on this team are you going to miss the most?
I think all the seniors. They've contributed. A lot of them, especially Hollis has been here, I guess, starting for 3 years, the 3 years that I've been here. But, Devin's been there, Titus for 2 years, Jacob for 2 years. Tag's been there for 4 years and been a big part of what we're doing. So I think all of them collectively. Devin's been there for the last 2 on varsity. So
that was such a parent answer.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, look, I love you all the same.
It is. We're going to miss them all. We're going to miss them all, and that's my job, to recruit players to replace them, and it's going to be tough.
So, with that time running out, is it you got to take every opportunity you can to poke fun or kind of make fun of them at times? Is there?
I always do that with my players. So yeah, give them a hard time.
That's the important part.
Yeah, exactly.
It helps them to grow and teaches them about life.
It does. Mental toughness.
Toughness. That's something that we all need to think about.
Exactly.
And on Saturday, the Braves got a big game. They've got an opportunity to kind of poke a big bear with a sharp stick and maybe come away with a victory. and we will wish you guys good luck with it.
I appreciate it.
And again, we'll have that game for you starting a little bit before tip-off. Approximate tip-off time is 5 o'clock. Wise Guys Construction pregame show will be on just before that. And that game, again, 5 o'clock tip. It'll be here on 1220 and 103.7 FM. And, Phil, we appreciate you joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk Lady Braves basketball as the ladies picked up a win last night. And it was a defensive affair. And we're going to find out how you go about scoring just 1 point in a quarter as we'll talk with head coach Bruce Tate. Hey, Bruce is doing a dance and telling us he's still waiting to figure that one out. So we... Oh, well, we might have some news to break when we come back, too. So join us after the break for more of the Pizza Time Hoop Talk show here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
What it means to be an OU Brave is to be yourself. What I've learned here is I've created memories with friends, and I was actually really comfortable being in my own skin here. Everybody has their own personality, and we're all unique here, just trying to live significant lives. And I think I'm going to leave here with an imprint that will last forever and that I can hold on to and look back at and laugh at and see that I not only learned something, but I created friendships and memories that will always stick with me. That's what it means to be brave, to be yourself.
Be a brave. Visit ottawa.edu.
It's a fact. Taste buds vary across the country. The things Texans find delicious, Californians go, ew. Pizza's like that, but some pizza companies use the same recipe in Memphis they do in Seattle. This is Ottawa. And we have a place that makes pizza tuned to Ottawa taste buds. It's Pizza Time in historic downtown Ottawa. Been doing it since 1985 with the ingredients and recipes Ottawans love. See for yourself. Pizza, sandwiches, wings, salad, desserts. It's all delicious and it's all Ottawa. 242-time brings it right to your door. Oh, it's more fun to go in. It's Ottawa Pizza. It's pizza time.
It's a new year and the savings just got better. Visit Bob Allen Ford for the biggest selection. New 2017 Ford Focus SEs starting as low as $13,999 after the Ford rebates. And new 2017 Ford Fusions as low as $17,999 after the Ford rebates. Shop online from an inventory of over 600 vehicles and experience the Bob Allen difference. President's Award dealer, locally owned, and a larger selection of new Fords with stores in Overland Park and now Ottawa, Kansas. Visit us at BobAllenFord.com and BobAllenFordOttawa.com. All Fords are created equal. It's your dealer that makes the difference.
I'm Grant Langston, the new CEO of eHarmony. If you're online dating and looking for love, you're probably tired of the lazy text messages, dead-end conversations, and matches that never turn into dates. If that's you, it's time to try eHarmony. Dating apps of one kind or another have been around a long time, but at the end of the day, they're just virtual bars where no one ever buys you a drink. eHarmony's different. We're built to help you have a better relationship, and we do that with 17 years of research and experience. eHarmony's gotten really good at bringing compatible people together. People that want the same things you do and are ready for a real relationship. Hey, it can be fun to play around with online dating apps, but when you're ready to fall in love with someone and have a meaningful relationship, there's one app that's built to bring you real love, eHarmony. Go to eHarmony.com today and get a month free when you buy a 3-month plan. Use code DATE. eHarmony.com, use code DATE.
Pizza Time Hoop Talk Show is here on 1220 and 103.7 FM. Bob Johnson tucked discreetly in a corner with glass all around me so downtown Ottawa can take a look at my backside as I'm doing the coaches show with now Lady Braves head coach Bruce Tate, who was dancing like he was dancing to a slow jam before we went to break. And some big news. You picked up a big recruit just before the break.
Absolutely. We've got Jordan Akbar, verbally committed, Shawnee Mission Northwest, 5'10", athletic forward that is going to be a pretty good player, definitely our first year, but in 4 years he can definitely turn into something special. So we're really, really excited.
I was going to say just the excitement that was shown before the break. It seemed like almost like you just won the conference or something. It was I was happy.
I was very happy. Put a lot of work in for this one. I've followed this girl all this summer. I've been to a lot of games this season, and this is a big piece to our puzzle for next year and moving forward.
Was it the Bruce Tate charm that won her over?
Man, I don't know what it was. It doesn't matter. I just know she's going to be wearing the black and gold next year. Most likely number 24, very similar player that Jess King has been for us, and very versatile and probably a better shooter, definitely, than Jess is. But yeah, really, really, really excited. Former teammate of Emily Rose, and Emily is coming on this second half of the season for us, and she's going to be super excited too as well.
And it comes at a good time. The Lady Braves have picked up a good victory and played very well defensively last night. Offensively, there was some struggles, but I started out on a 7-2 run. It looked like that maybe the things were going to click for y'all, but then timeout was called, and then that's when the offensive production seemed to slow down.
Yeah, our girls like to get comfortable, because we were scoring with ease. We moved the ball around. We were executing the game plan. They took that timeout, and after that, I don't know. We missed a lot of shots. We missed a lot of shots that we had great looks, and I didn't think we were going to score in the second quarter, honestly. I was like, somebody's got to get to the free throw line because we're not going to make a shot.
We're going to talk about that here in just a second. As the Braves, Bethel came back and scored the next 6 after that timeout, and they ended the first period with a score of 14-12. And it wasn't like Bethel was lights out in the second period either. I mean, it was 6-1 in the bottom of the 7th. I mean, that's 6 points is a low total when it comes to a basketball game, but 1. I mean, wow! What it must have felt like you were in a different dimension watching that quarter of basketball.
Yeah, I mean. And we had good looks. It was like, Leslie and Jess had great looks. Jenna had great looks on the perimeter. Our freshmen, they were rushing some shots. They saw the ball going in early for us. So at times there's a reason that you're open. So there's a reason that you were open, and I think they found that out fairly quick. I think they lost a little confidence in our game plan a little bit, and Avery. Put her head down and got to the rim there for us, and at least got one free throw down. The second free throw that she missed, I gave her a hard time about it in practice today. I was like, what was that? So it was a weird quarter. I mean, our lowest offensive production. You can't get no worse than that, but you just won't score. So
hey, have you had a quarter of basketball like that before?
Never. Never.
What was going through your mind?
Never. I was like, well, at least we're still playing defense. That was what was going through my mind. I'm like, we are only down, I think it was 7, and we're still in the ball game, and I was like, man.
Defense is really what won this game for the Lady Braves, because, you went to almost 7.5 minutes before you got that free throw, and just allowing Bethel 6 points in that second quarter. I mean, you go to the half only down by 7.
Yeah.
And obviously the offense was not what you wanted, but there had to be at least I don't want to say confidence builder, but something to keep your head up knowing you were only down by 7.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we went in at halftime and just explained to them that, hey, we're not doing what we need to do offensively. For one, not making shots, but let's get back to our game plan against the zone and, get some easy looks, get to the free throw line, be a little bit more aggressive. But our defense definitely kept us in it. I mean, they had 33 turnovers. We probably only forced about 20 of those, 18 to 20 of those. That gave us some opportunities. But they killed us on the boards. I mean, if you're only shooting 16% in the first half, you should have more than, 8, 9, I don't know how many offensive rebounds we had total, but we didn't get enough second chance opportunities that we needed to really stretch that score out.
Well, they out-rebounded just 49-23. I don't have the breakdown offensively as far as that goes, but I mean, when you take a look at these things, at some of these stats, I mean, if it wasn't for the defense, it could have been worse. But Bethel didn't help themselves either. I mean, just 31% from the floor. They were just 7%. What a 15 from the three-point arc. So you take 15 three-point shots and you're only making one. I maybe throw it down low.
Yeah, and they were, they were quite easy to guard from the three-point line. Their best three-point shooter. I thought we did a great job of locking her down. Then they only have one other kid that was shooting over 30%. So when you can game plan for that, that's awesome. They had some other kids that will shoot it, but we want them to shoot it. And we were able to at least get those rebounds and then turn it into points, because we got out and ran in transition and primary a little bit better the second half to get some easy baskets.
Well, and when you take a look at the second half, you open up the third quarter, it really wasn't until about 3 minutes to go in that quarter when things started to click for the ladies again. But you only allowed Bethel 6 points in that quarter. You ended up scoring 12. And really from that point, didn't look back as you were able to outscore them in the fourth quarter and pick up the three-point win.
Yeah, we had some good execution plays out of timeouts. There was one play that I drew up that worked to a T. They executed it extremely well. Jess made a nice pass to Leslie, and I think that momentum just lifted us. Caitlin had a big bucket down the stretch. She made 2 big free throws down the stretch. Jenna made a huge 3 at the buzzer to close out one of the quarters. So we had some big plays that gave us a confidence boost, and we just found a way to win it. I mean, when you look at the stat sheet, there's going to be many nights that you don't pull out those games. And like I told him, I was like, if we're playing a better offensive team, it's probably 60-40 and we're losing. Basically what happened at Oklahoma Wesleyan.
Leslie Spear ended up with 10 points last night, leading the team in scoring. And we kind of talked last week that Leslie needed to get started early and see some success early to build some confidence. Do you feel like she was able to do that last night?
Yeah. I mean, playing against a 6'2" freshman that's going to be a pretty good player in our conference, a lot of teams are going to double Jess, and those are the situations I was able to get them in. They were able to connect twice for some easy buckets for Leslie, and for her to be the leading scorer and for us to get the win, hopefully that's a confidence booster for her down the stretch here, and just to get her going. I mean, we need her to get playing like she was at the beginning of the year. She can finish the year like she started the year, then we got a better chance to making the playoffs.
And, of course, Jessica King with 8 rebounds and also had 3 assists last night. So even though not leading the team in scoring, she was still, even though maybe she had some offensive production, she was really productive on the board and distributing the ball.
Yeah, I mean, she's going to have the ball in her hands quite a bit, and she leads us in assists, too, as well, so which she should. If we're giving her a lot of touches, I think it's very important for her to find her teammates when teams are doubling and tripling her, and her to kick it out. And she was able to do that, and we had some success with that, and that was good to see.
And, of course, Bethel had an opportunity with time running out. They had a couple of chances and just couldn't do anything with it. So, again, hats off to the defense for, either forcing a tough shot or being able to keep the shots from going down, and that has been the MO all year long, has been the defense.
Yeah, we did a good job of defending their first look. Bethel, like I said, they chased down the offensive rebounds. They got a big offensive rebound and kind of forced a deep 3 there. And when it went up in the air, it was up there for a while. You're like, oh, no, here we go. and we were able to get the offensive rebound and secure it, and got a timeout, advanced it, and it was the end of the game. So we got out of there as soon as we could with the victory.
Well, the win keeps the hopes alive of making it into the KCAC tournament. 3 games left, and it's really kind of a position now that the ladies have got to win out, really, and get a little bit of help.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I told them. I was like, first of all, we got to control what we can control. The best way to give yourself an opportunity is go win games. You don't want to, have your fate dependent on someone else. So that's our concentration right now. I mean, we're, outside of St. Mary's, they haven't lost in the last 6 or 7 ball games. We won 4 out of 5 here, and so hopefully we can continue to have that momentum. A lot of the close games that we were losing early, now we're starting to win some of those, and hopefully that will be the case here down the stretch.
We're going to take our final break of the night. When we come back, we're going to talk about Southwestern on Saturday. Senior night, senior afternoon for the Lady Braves. That game will be a 3 o'clock tip. We'll have the Wise Guys Construction Ottawa University Braves pregame show at about 2:45. And you'll catch it here on 1220 and 103.7 FM and the World Wide Web at KOFO.com and OttawaBraves.com. If you are a internet junkie and want to listen to it, whether you're in Ottawa or in Guam, it's possible to listen to this weekend's matchups. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about it. You're listening to the Pizza Time Hoop Talk Show here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
I came here to run cross country, and it ended up being way different than I thought it was going to be. It's unlike anything I've ever been a part of to be on the team. Everyone is so completely different. There are people you never thought you'd be friends with, nothing like your outside friends, but somehow you all click to be the same and have the same interests, but yet completely different. Everyone's always there for you. It's not just about running. Friendships and families, like they're your siblings when you're away from home. That's what it means to be a part of the Braves cross country and track team. To be a family.
Be a Brave. Visit ottawa.edu.
When it's game time, it's pizza time. Fantastic food and a fabulous atmosphere, locally owned and operated. That's a nice thing about Pizza Time. They know what you want because, well, they live here too. And they've been doing it right since Duke opened the doors in 1985. Bring all your friends because there's something on the menu for everyone. Wings, salads, sandwiches, desserts. You enjoy the games and the food. They'll do the dishes afterwards. Make game time Pizza Time. Then review them on Yelp. Find out more on Facebook or Twitter at Pizza Time Pub. 242-time, Ottawa's Pizza Time.
The new Ottawa Care Clinic inside Casatino's Price Chopper is there for you to treat minor illnesses such as flu and the common cold, sinus infections, ear infections, fever, ringworm, as well as minor injuries including abrasions or burns. No appointment is necessary to see one of the clinic's experienced and caring advanced registered nurse practitioners. The Ottawa Care Clinic inside Price Chopper, available now for your convenience. Call 785-214-4903.
I'm Grant Langston, the new CEO of eHarmony. If you're online dating and looking for love, you're probably tired of the lazy text messages, dead-end conversations, and matches that never turn into dates. If that's you, it's time to try eHarmony. Dating apps of one kind or another have been around a long time, but at the end of the day, they're just virtual bars where no one ever buys you a drink. eHarmony's different. We're built to help you have a better relationship, and we do that with 17 years of research and experience. eHarmony's gotten really good at bringing compatible people together. People that want the same things you do and are ready for a real relationship. Hey, it can be fun to play around with online dating apps, but when you're ready to fall in love with someone and have a meaningful relationship, there's one app that's built to bring you real love, eHarmony. Go to eHarmony.com today and get a month free when you buy a 3-month plan. Use code DATE. eHarmony.com, use code DATE.
We are back for the final segment here on the Pizza Time Hoop Talk Show as the Lady Braves get ready for senior afternoon at Wilson Fieldhouse. Southwestern comes back to town, and I know that's a game that you guys have thought about for a little bit. Lost by 6 at their place, but you guys have always played Southwestern really well, and you guys seem to know how to handle them, but just seem to not be able to get over that hump.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we just don't know what team's going to show up for us. So defensively is going to be a big key again. We were able to hold them under 60 again offensively. Struggled in that game there on the road, and coming home and playing that team, being in a different situation. As of right now, this team is showing a little bit hunger to try to reach their potential. And it's going to be a big test and an emotional night for our 4 seniors. And, we're going to start, the 2 seniors that haven't really played all this year. And those are kids that have been around our program for 4 years and have done a great job of leading our bench and helping these younger kids pick up the system. And it's, it's always tough to say bye to seniors, but when they stick around and be loyal to your program for 4 years, you gotta take your hat off to that.
And that is going to be there's going to be a lot of emotions. I mean, it's almost like seeing your kids leave home in a sense, because you've had them for 4 years and you watch them come in as freshmen and see them grow and really mature into adults and then see them go. So, I mean, it's not just emotional for them, but it's emotional for you guys too.
Yeah, absolutely. And 3 of the 4, are out-of-state kids. Alex coming from North Pole, Alaska, just to take a chance on a school that she didn't even visit. I mean, she just committed to us and came here and established a life here, now married and going to be, in Kansas. One of the smartest players on our roster. And she's going to go out there and do great things. Rashea Parker from Texas had a great junior year and then just got, beat by some of our younger kids and up and down, season for her. Jess King, again, from Colorado. Super athletic, and we've all watched how much she's grown here in our program. And then Leslie Spear was a great addition to that class, being here for 2 years. Going to be a great teacher out there in the education world, and just super excited for those 4 kids to go start a new life and go make an impact out there in the community.
When you talk with your seniors, do they feel the gravity of this game, that this is probably going to be their last home game?
We haven't talked about that, it'll be something that, we'll discuss a little bit tomorrow in film, preparing for Southwestern, and saying that, Wilson Fieldhouse is a phenomenal place to play. I mean, and, all the kids that have played there, love playing there. When it's over, they miss playing there. And that's why we get the alums that come back and play with us in the summer, is just to have that opportunity to play. And we got air conditioning now, so they'll come back in the summer. So, but I think they all know, what's at stake. And, we just got to leave it out there on the floor, and like I said, we always got to control what we could control. And we have played well at Wilson Fieldhouse, and we've taken some losses there that have been tough losses, but I feel that this group will be ready to go.
Well, you mentioned earlier on 3 out of the last 4, and picking up victories, and so getting a little bit of rhythm at the right time. And this is a big game for the ladies. It is, and it's also the final home game of the regular season. So, but they've got to come away with a win.
We do. It's definitely a must win. Definitely when it's a team that is at the bottom with you, that you have to take care of. And it's not a gimme game. None of the games have been gimme games this year, and that's good. That's really good for our conference. And if you look at it, at least 1 through 7 is going to have a winning record, in the tournament, and it's been a long time since that's happened. If we can find a way to sneak in, I would say, we would be one of the scariest lower seeds, just the way that we can guard, and we got some kids that on any given night that can fill it up offensively. So if we got to take care of Southwestern first, and then worry about the next week's games to see what happens. But it's going to take all 3 games to determine what the seedings are going to be like.
Defensively for the Lady Braves, what do they have to do against Southwestern on Saturday?
Well, for one, Jordan Miller, we have to contain her. Although that they are a lower seed team, Jordan is is one of the top 2 players in the conference, potentially the player of the year in the conference. Just a phenomenal basketball player for them. We can't allow her to go for a 25, 30-point night for sure. We've got to contain her 3-point shooting. She's changed her lineup to cater to the 3-point shooters. So, defensively, we're going to have to grind it out in our man-to-man, and we'll see if we can mix in a little zone just to throw them off. We need to take care of the basketball. We need to rebound, and we can't have that many empty possessions. We can't go 7-8 minutes without scoring.
Well, and if they're catering their lineup for 3-point shooters, the ladies down low are going to have to box out and get the rebounds. They're not going to hit every 3-pointer.
Exactly, and I tell our guards that too. If they're going to settle for a lot of threes, there's going to be a lot of long rebounds too as well. So we've just got to counter that with higher percentage shots and getting to the free throw line. We're not we can go for 8 threes in a game. We've done that before, but our average is about 3 or 4. And that's one of our weaknesses. But yeah, we've got to have to play our game and take them out of their game for sure.
Offensively for the Lady Braves, you kind of mentioned that no empty possessions, but this is going to be this is a game where the ladies can't have what happened to them in the second quarter of last night's game happen. They are going to have to find a way to score.
Absolutely. So, if I'm Southwestern, I'm most likely coming in with a zone game plan. 3-2s have been kind of our thorn to our sides outside of the Friends game, which was, just totally different. And it was at home, so we had a little bit more emotion there. But we're going to have to find ways to come out with either great shots or getting to the free throw line and taking advantage of the opportunities that we get against them for sure.
Do you feel like that you guys can take advantage of them on the post?
After I watch film tonight, it'll be interesting to see how they match up with us, honestly. I'm assuming that Jordan will take Leslie, and I do not know who's going to guard Jess, so that makes me feel that she may counter to playing a little bit more zone. We're a little bit more efficient against a 2-3 than a 3-2, so they don't match up with us extremely well when it comes to the post. Guard-wise, they're fairly athletic. They'll be able to maintain some things there. So we're going to have to take advantage of getting downhill, knocking down open shots. But it's probably going to be a grind. It'd probably be in the 40s and 50s again if both teams show up.
Well, and settling on the shot, that's not going to be able to work out. The ladies have got to be able to make it work for them. Find the shots that work for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought we did a fairly decent job of that. Last night we didn't. At times we settled for jumpers in a stretch where we in that second quarter where we needed to attack the basket, but we got good looks. I think the biggest thing is that we've got to be able to knock down those open looks, and this team has struggled with knocking down wide open shots, and that's been the difference between winning and losing a lot of these games. Teams that are winning them are knocking down those shots, and we're not.
When you talk about the open shots, do you think that are they thinking too much out there?
A little bit. Sometimes when you're that wide open, you're just like, wow, I'm open. And some of it just being young and not being ready. So we've been teaching, in practice and individual workouts, having feet and hand ready so that they're in rhythm, while they're shooting. So a lot of these kids are catching, then getting ready, and then shooting, and that decreases your chances and your percentages.
So for them, it's more of just lock and load and let it rip, and instead of making sure that your mechanics are.
You got to be in rhythm. So and Coach Bedell does a great job of breaking that down. My staff really focuses on the little things, and when you're young, like I tell them all the time, you guys just want to play basketball. I understand that, but we're trying to focus on the little things to make the big things happen.
Well, you would think at this stage that it would be more muscle memory than anything.
Yeah, it should definitely when you get to this level. But with so many younger kids, we really can't break bad habits until the end of their sophomore year, beginning of their junior year, just because everything is going so fast for them, and they just revert back to who they were, coming out of high school. I mean, if you look at Jennifer Anthony, Maddie McAvoy, Jaden Offit, a lot of high school bad habits usually come out and when the game gets going fast.
Coach, good luck with the game on Saturday.
Thank you.
You'll hear it here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO. Also on KOFO.com and OttawaBraves.com with the live audio and video. Want to say thanks to Lars back at the station keeping us on the air. Fantastic job by him. And be sure to join us a week from tonight as we return to Pizza Time for another edition of the Pizza Time Hoop Talk Show on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
Through the Senate now has a wrinkle. ABC's Lana Zach explains from the Capitol.
Republican Senator Rand Paul is opposed to the bipartisan spending bill, but he's not just interested in voting against it. At this moment, he is actively blocking the vote.
One guy's going to keep us here till 3 in the morning. Well, you know what? I think the country's worth a debate till 3 in the morning, frankly.
Paul's speech makes it look increasingly possible that there could be a government shutdown tonight. Remember, the House won't consider the bill until it passes the Senate. Lana Zach, ABC News, the Capitol.
The White House is defending its initial statement supporting Staff Secretary Rob Porter as allegations of domestic violence have surfaced.
The unanswered question, how long did Chief of Staff John Kelly know that the man who handled the president's most classified documents had 2 domestic abuse claims against him by 2 former wives?
He became fully aware about these allegations yesterday.
White House spokesman Raj Shah not explaining what fully means or how long White House officials have known that Trump aide Rob Porter had a security clearance problem. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
The stock market taking a dive today as volatility remains high. The Dow fell more than 1,000 points today. The S&P and NASDAQ both saw triple-digit losses. J.J. Kinahan with TD Ameritrade says losses aren't that surprising.
I think there's been pent-up selling demand because nobody wanted to sell in 2017. So you're seeing, I believe, exponential selling because of that.
The Dow is now 10% off its 52-week high, meaning it's officially in correction territory. A Michigan man who tried to attack disgraced sports Dr. Larry Nassar in court is thanking people who donated $31,000 online, but says he doesn't want the money. Randy Margraves says refunds are available to those who donated to a GoFundMe account. Margraves' daughters are among the many women who say that Dr. Larry Nassar abused them. This is ABC News.
Save more with Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Hey, what are you doing up here on the roof?
I want to tell the world I just met the woman of my dreams. Well, what about you?
I want to tell the world that Liberty Mutual saved me $782.
Liberty did what?
They saved me $782.
Oh, you go first then. $782 really puts finding love into perspective.
Visit us online to get a quote, and you could save $782. Liberty Mutual Insurance. Based on a recent countrywide new customer survey, coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company, Equal Housing Insurer.
Jim, would you sponsor my son in the fun run?
Sure. Here's $1.
Jim, I know a senior manager with your experience makes between $100 and $132K.
Oh, there's $5.
Thanks. Hey, Sue, the director with a median salary of $95,000. Got a sec?
How we find jobs has changed. On Indeed.com, our company reviews give you the inside track on thousands of companies. You can research salaries, benefits, company cultures, and more. Search for greatness. Search Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Indeed is the world's #1 job site according to ComScore total visits.
Some drama unfolding at the 2018 Winter Olympics before the opening ceremonies have even taken place. ABC's Matt Gutman is in South Korea and says one U.S. athlete seems upset that he didn't get to hold the U.S. flag.
Four-time Olympian luger Erin Hamlin will bear the Stars and Stripes. She tied in voting with speed skater Shani Davis in the athlete-led voting, but won in a coin toss. Davis, 5-time Olympian, fuming, tweeting, Team USA dishonorably tossed a coin to decide its 2018 flag bearer. No problem. I can wait until 2022. Hashtag Black History Month 2018.
A temporary stay of deportation has been granted to a chemistry professor who's lived in Kansas for more than 30 years. ICE agents arrested 55-year-old Syed